Hello and welcome to another great wonderful episode of the Ty Price Show. So this week I'm going to start with a question from last episode. Last episode, We the Living, not Anthem, but We the Living was, I think I said it was the one that was, take that word, just I, the word I, you take that out of society. The result is what happens in this book, not We the Living. It's the same thing. So what happens in Anthem, which is what happens. This is the result when you take that one word out of your language, I. Okay. Anyway. Now, many shows do that. They don't go back and correct the mistakes I made, but I do that. So anyway, one of the things I want to stress. This is going to be short. Also, by the way. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Christmas. Christmas is the spirit of being able to give other people in goodwill because we can afford to. That's the main meaning of Christmas. It's originally was. Has nothing to do with religion. It was actually an old pagan holiday. Whatever. But anyway, it was a holiday for it. Anyway, so that we introduce the best thing in the world. Presents is being able to give to our kids cool things that they want. And that before capitalism never happened ever unless you were super rich. Like Cain. And everybody wants to see people. Everybody didn't have money because they were so successful. Most buying criminals because Henry always says what? This is what happens to socialism. The murderers always went out over the table. That's right. Right. Because they murdered the pigs. Socialists. The socialists today. Socialists today. They murdered just fast as capitalism. But I know what you can do. That's what he did. That's what he did. China. Duh. Murderers went out in pig fights. Anyway. All we know is all we are. It's like all we know is all we are, right? All we know. That's not honest. It's not Nirvana song. This is exactly all we know is all we are. That is all we know is all we are. That's true. What's amazing and impressive about that is one thing. Where because of that, we're unlimited. Because of the ability to conceptualize ideas. Your mind's unlimited. It can grow exponentially to an unlimited degree forever. Isn't that unbelievable? Isn't that one of the greatest things you've ever heard in your life? Because most people don't understand it well. Because conceptualization is a basic conceptualization. Think about a tree. No tree. Tree. You can think about 11, 12, and once you get past 11, 12, tree, what's going to happen is you just kind of can't hold it all in. That's why we conceptualize. So instead of saying that's the street, you're at a forest, which is conceptualization. You know, that's a that's a tree, that's a tree, that's a tree. You say it's a forest. Or in a tropical rainforest, or a temperate forest. That's conceptualization. You got millions of people. You're throwing things together. One conceptualization forest. Right? When you get tired of conceptualizations, you can integrate conceptualizations of concepts into a concept itself. So that's why you can continue to grow no matter how large the body of whatever you think it is, how huge it is, what it contains, right? Now, goes to that in one of her books, about conceptualization, how to understand really what it is. So, it's called the objective epistemology. Anyway, so all we know is which is the greatest thing you could ever possibly imagine. Okay? Now, because of that, read the book list. Because right now, most people, especially socialists, they understand conservative socialists, left-wing socialists, they don't understand this at all. So they have to come back to reality. You get rid of all intellectual garbage that they think is right. So then before, right now, most of you and most of them are less than zero. If you still think socialism is good, and socialism is good, or altruistic, like sacrificing yourself for others. That's good. That means you're less than zero. You need to discard that. And then read this, or read this to discard that. And then move on and start understanding, because this is the most important thing in the world, and this is what I'm tell you right now. It's up to you to save the world. It's up to you to save the world. It's not up to me. It's not up to super genius psychologists. Super genius business to save the world for you. There's nothing to do with that. That's the last step. The first step is you read that and get it. Everybody else, to read that. Everyone. And the people who refuse to read that and talk, they're ignorant, and they become belligerent to you. Socialism is good. It's immoral. Yeah. No. It's not. Explain to them how immoral it is. That it's based on it to steal. It's based on it to steal and make everybody's life. Once they understand that, if they're still out of that, annihilate them. That's why you need this too. You will know every single argument socialism ever made and will make, every possible piece of socialism, what it can be. I'm used to that, and of course, I'm in philosophy. Philosophical understanding, but it's no one else you can completely annihilate him, because there's no reason for argument ever. Because it's either they agree because it's reality, or they get smashed with reality. And that's what people do. Because you need to make them scared. And pop up and go, with their bullshit, like, socialism's great, it's way free stuff. You gotta be able to say, yeah, you're stealing it from me. Why don't you just come over here right now and take my shirt off my back, huh? Oh, you think that's right? You think that's smart? Well, don't hide behind Bernie Sanders, President Biden, President Biden, and steal my shirt with an intermediary. You come do it yourself. Okay? Right? So you gotta understand. That's wrong. We're hammering until everybody else around them knows that they're wrong. Make them an outcast. That's the idea. You understand it? And make them an outcast. To make those nasty criminal social outcasts in hide in dark corners and pop out and you smack them back in those dark corners. They refuse to religion and refuse to understand reality. And still remain socialist regardless of the facts. Crush them every opportunity. Rip them a new one. And that's why this. When we do that, that's what happens. It goes away. Every single 99.9% problems were caused by socialism. Just like this. 99.9% problems in the world caused by socialism. It's fixed by this. Okay. So read the book list. Read thebooklist.com. Okay. Because it's up to me. It's up to me. It is to be. It's up to me. It is to be. It's up to me. Okay? No enough. Too many arguments. If you're invincible, on to the next person. And if they are belligerent about it, they're like, hey, you're wrong, blah, blah, explain it to them. And they're still belligerent. You explain something, totally just blew up. I had people explain that, taxation is theft. The whole thing. It doesn't matter how much. If I steal from you, if I take your shirt, that's wrong. If I take $10 out of every $100, or $20 out of every $100 that you have in your pocket, you're wrong. Like, me and 20 other dudes come over and break in your house and do that to you every month or every week. You pay. That's wrong, right? That's wrong. If I get together 1,000 people, or 100,000, or 1,000,000 people, it's still wrong, right? Right? And if I get together 350 million people and call it the United States government and do it to you, it's still wrong. There's I went through that with one socialist friend of mine one time, and then he went on to say, social contract. I believe in social contract. I was just like, oh my God, I just fully explained to this guy who I thought was my friend, and he thinks it's okay to steal from me still. Holy shit. I mean, if some guy came up with a gun, is this guy going to stand there and go, I guess that's okay. I believe in stealing. It's okay to steal from that guy. Go ahead. No, that's fucking wrong. Totally wrong. Don't ever do that. You know what I'm saying? If somebody's like that, explain it to them or hammer them every chance you get. If they ever speak up, just be their friend or whatever. But if they ever speak up on the bullshit, smack it back down and make them totally embarrassed and scared to say they're inaccurate, things that are inaccurate or things that are wrong. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that they're exposed. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to expose their inaccuracies. Like if they're saying stuff, blah, 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 social is good, social contract, whatever, you can expose that. And that's what I mean by smacking them down or quote smash them. Smash them by making them and everybody else understand that they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Until they either stop doing it, and I've done this before. I cleared my entire, I was on Facebook back in the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm not really on it that much anymore, but back in the day I was on Facebook and I cleared my entire friends scope, which is hundreds of thousands of people. None of them that popped up on my feed, you know what I'm saying? Friends, their friends, etc. None of them said anything mystical or socialistic ever, because I would immediately smash them. And then I grew other people that did this, started doing the same thing, and they would smash them or jump in with me and smash them until they stopped, and it ended. They ended that because they were like, ready to jump out and do something wrong to you. And that's basically what it was. And we were smacking them down so that they would not do that, and they could not do that because they would get smacked down. They felt embarrassed because they knew they were wrong, and everybody else did. And it was a belief they had, and that was it. It was a wrong belief. Instead of knowledge and knowing, they just believed in socialism or whatever, mystical crap. Because socialism is mystical too. It's a religion. People believe in it without any proof whatsoever, and also without the knowledge of that it's wrong and immoral. You know what I'm saying? That it hurts people. Because if it hurts people, if any part at any level of what you do hurts people, the end product is wrong. Just as wrong as what you're doing to hurt people to do that end thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you steal that money from Jack and go down and buy little Jill down the street a brand new bicycle for Christmas, it's still wrong because that's stolen loot that you just did that with. You get it? And stealing, like I've said before, is the most immoral thing you can do. Because you can kill somebody morally. If somebody's trying to kill you, you can shoot them dead. And it's totally 100% moral. But under no circumstance ever can you steal and it be moral, ever. None. Fall for the socialistic, if I'm so poor and blah, 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 I have to steal to eat. Well, dummies. The only reason people are poor is because of you and socialism that makes them poor. Poor is very, very, very rare. In under a laissez-faire capitalism, the only person who's poor wants to be. In other words, they are like a drug addict. He doesn't care about life, or gambling at it and spends all their money, whatever. Something that's just really bad, and everybody looks down on. I'm saying that is actually bad and horrible, and they do it themselves because it's not, because socialism causes poverty because it restricts and reduces people's ability to do anything, especially with the regulations and fascist regulations like on business and things like that, and also taxation, which is just straight stealing socialism. So anyway, just want to make sure you understood that, and understood that, like I said in the beginning, that Anthem was the book that when you take away the word I, what happens to the rest of the world? But first, read the book list. Anthem is real small and short, and I think it is on there. But read the book list and then hit Anthem. Read it when you're going down the list, because it is in read order. The only thing I want to say, and this is I had people ask this before. This right here, Socialism by Ludwig von Mises, is a doctorate level study of socialism. So you might want to, if you don't know anything about economics, what you might want to do first is read Milton Friedman's Free to Choose. He's Milton Friedman's, von Mises actually called that guy a socialist because he kind of was. He didn't really get it at all, but he's fairly close on a lot of things. So he's probably better because that's more of a layman's level, introduction to economics that you can read. It's Milton Friedman's Free to Choose. Read that first, then read this on the book list. If you go that, they're both on the book list, but drop down to the Milton Friedman's Free to Choose, read it first, then go back and read von Mises Socialism, because it just utterly, you can't come away with that book going, yeah, socialism works, because he smashes socialism at every single level. He looks at socialism like every socialistic idea that's ever existed, every socialistic guy, and smashes it, and then every socialism type of socialism that may exist in the future and smashes that in any combination of socialism that has existed and or may exist because of combos, smashes all that. So it's just an expose on just destroying socialism utterly, and it's just ridiculously cool, ridiculously detailed if you like that stuff. And you'll coming off that and just reading really shrugging that book, you'll come off being able to destroy 99.9% of the arguments out there. And that rest of this book list is to understand the ideas and have historical background to have examples and give those examples about what actually happened and why. And you'll start getting the idea that history is a history of ideas, and that's what drives history, is the idea. Somebody has an idea in their head, they're locked into it, like they're locked into progress forward, like they're on railroad tracks. Because when you have a philosophy, you have a moral code from that philosophy, and you follow it, whether you know it or not, whether you like it or not. But you do follow it, and you make decisions morally. Is this moral? Yes or no? And then socialism leads you in the toilet, right? Because it's a death philosophy. It's altruistic socialism. Whereas capitalism and rational self-interest, leading you to life, because your main pursuit is your own personal happiness first. If everybody did that, guess what would happen? We'd have an incredible society. Because people don't destroy other people for their own personal happiness or for rational self-interest, because that's irrational to hurt people. Why? Because things happen. If you hurt people, somebody will come after you. They'll be it that person who you hurt, or the government. If you stole from somebody or murdered somebody, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Theft, rape, robbery, murder, extortion, yada, yada, yada. So, but anyway, just want to make sure you understand all of that, because it's all connected. You notice how things go from one to one to one when I talk, because they're all connected. So read this book list, make all the connections, and then you can actually ask me questions, and I'll answer your questions too. And a lot of what I'm talking about when I come up with this stuff, it comes from questions from you guys, because I know there's of you guys out there that are listening to this, just, you know, send me stuff anytime you want. I'll get through most of them or put them together in a whole thing. Because I usually get more than one question. I'll get like 10 or 20 or 100. So I'll just kind of go through them. A lot of them are similar, and I can categorize them and then just go through and make one of these shows based on that. A lot of times that's what I do. So anyway, you guys have a great and wonderful day. And I hope you had a wonderful time here and learned a lot, because there's a lot to learn. It's wonderful. It's just when you get through this, I just want to leave you guys with this. When you get through this book list, it's one of the most amazing and wonderful journeys you'll ever have in your life. And trust me in this, because I've done all kinds of crazy stuff. My mom, when I was little, I didn't read, and she was like, "Why don't you read books?" And I looked at her and I said, "Because I go do the things that people write books about." And she was like, looked at me and went, "That's right," because I went out and surfed in 40-foot plus waves in Puerto Rico and went on adventures all over the world and stuff like that, doing all kinds of, you know, crazy stuff. Got sick for 5 years, so I got into this. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't move, and that was in my first episode. I couldn't move at all, and all I did was read for 12 hours a day, and I couldn't sleep. So I thought about it for the other 12. So I would do that every day for 5.5 years, and ended up with like the equivalency of a 26 or 29 year, you know, doctorate level in each one of these subjects that is on here. The 6 subjects that have a, you know, doctorate level, autodidactic PhD level knowledge. So anyway, that's why I know so much in this way. That's why I took all those thousands of books that I read and whittled it down into the book list. This is the Cliff Notes. My friend always just say, "Hey, give me the Cliff Notes when we talk about stuff like this." And you know, this is the Cliff Notes. The book list is the Cliff Notes on liberty, freedom, capitalism, and especially what? Individualism. Okay. So anyway, have a great day, have fun, and read the book list.